So hello everybody and welcome back once again to the HotCuppaTV podcast. And today on the podcast we have an amazingly interesting subject which I cannot wait to discuss on this channel, which is actually, guys, one of the most amazing old and classical games, Halo 2, which I have a very special guest on today joining me in order to discuss our childhood memories at great length and in-depth detail, and with great pleasure and joy, might I add, when we're talking about this. Hopefully you guys will be able to, I'm almost definitely you guys are going to resonate with some of these memories. Let me know straight away in the comments section if you guys have ever played Halo. Have you guys played it? Who has heard about this game before? Who has played it and who has memories? Let me know the details in the description, in the comment section down below, guys. And I would like to welcome my guest on today, Rowan, my very dear long university friend.
Good evening. Hi. Yeah, the Halo series. Wow, it's incredible. It's good as sex. It's great. Yeah. So
it's literally better than sex, bro. This is better, guys. If you've had the best sex of your world and one of those prolonged, outrageous out-of-body orgasms, which you probably all have, considering actually a large chunk of my audience, you'd be surprised, right? This is a gaming channel, right? I've seen this many times before on my YouTube analytics. So my large predominant, I would say it's about 40% of my audience, right, are in between 18 and 24. And in between 24 and 36 are the largest percent of my audience, bro. It's about 50%, and the other 10% is below that age and above that age. So
nice.
The predominant, so like out of 1,000 people who will view this, there will be, I'd say 900 of them are in between pretty much our age group, actually. So you'd be surprised, because for a gaming channel you would often think it might be younger viewers. But yes, guys, wow, I mean, delving into this subject. Now, I'd like to ask you, Rowan, about first your gaming history. What is your relationship with games? And then how did you first come across and find Halo in your life? Before I go into it, about how I found it and played it with my friends.
Yeah, when I was about 9 years old, my brother introduced me, my older brother, who's, just about 6 years older, I think. We started playing the co-op and the death matches together when you're against each other on Halo 1. So that was a really good thing. Then when I was about 9-10 years old, Halo 2 came out, and then we were playing that a lot.
Yes.
Then after that, I just kind of played it lots by myself. And so at that stage...
Really? So you played a lot of campaign mode?
Yeah, both. And then when I had a friend around or whatever, we'd do the other matches and things. And
that's so interesting.
Definitely preferred that to FIFA and things like that. Sorry, but I think it's way better. And because Halo originated as a series of actual books, there's so much narrative and canon and
it has a huge backstory. I remember that.
Yeah, so that's why what makes it so interesting.
I am going to jump in because I'm going to say that. I'm a massive FIFA fan. I played too many hours on FIFA in my life, guys, bro. But I have, to be honest, not released a FIFA series on this channel yet. That's something, I may do in the future, but the type of thing I would release on this channel is a 2-player, chunks of gameplay footage of Halo. In fact, we may play some soon and then release it on this channel, just for laughs and just for bants. So the audience can get involved. But I think that it's funny. And now I first found Halo and first ever played it and started playing it on 2-player. And it was Halo 2. So the first Halo I ever found and ever discovered was Halo 2 with my best friend at the time when I was younger, and then our group of friends, and there was always 4 of us, right? We would always play 4-player on it. Wow. So then I ended up in my spare time when I was on my own with that game, which was quite rarely, I did open and then play on campaign mode as well on Halo 2, which I liked, I enjoyed, but I found it kind of boring and in comparison to 2-player, which was like mind-blowing to me. Then later I found Halo 1.
Yeah, definitely. When I was about 17 years old, I went round to see some friends when I actually managed to get some. Because when I was actually in my early teens, I didn't really have any friends to hang out with going through secondary school, so I stayed at home gaming, basically. being more kind of awkward and introverted, which I still kind of am now.
That's such a gaming, that's such a gamer's point of view. You know, like,
definitely.
Think about the vast majority of this audience are gamers. I mean, if not all. And
probably have more friends than me though.
But many gamers have a very similar point of view, very similar approach to that and life and passion. You know, which is why a lot of them. This you've got to realise. This is why a lot of them are drawn into games and the whole gaming culture. I mean. Part of why is the whole reason I love gaming online, right? Why do I create a whole channel community about it? Is because there's obviously two types of people: introverts, extroverts. But you could say from that point of view, don't know what an ambivert is as well. But you could explain that in a minute. But I never really. You know, I definitely have both. I'm definitely half extrovert and half introvert.
Ambivert,
Yeah, absolutely, right. So that's what an ambivert is. I see. So I've had both periods in my life. Now, in my introverted days, I would be inside, you know, playing computer games. This is how I got into that whole culture. Yeah. So, but yeah, jumping back into Halo. Okay, what is the best thing, right? And certain memories that you find about it, because I can't. Before I go off on my rant and hot cuppa tangent about the vehicles.
Those, and
the weapons. My God, the sword.
Definitely. Yeah, because when I was 17 and went over to this previously mentioned house party, I was about 17, and we had this about 4 or 5 people doing this big deathmatch thing on playing the Halo 3, and I just kept on whooping everyone's ass, and then one of my mates said, "No, his virgin powers are too strong for us. We can't beat him." And it was true. I hadn't got laid by then, so I was just basically beating everyone, being too good at this game.
See, this is the thing, guys. If you for some reason haven't been laid, just play Halo instead. It will soothe and calm your soul. Playing that so many times. Now, listen. Of course, at this stage, has to be said, and I knew all of our viewers and audience are thinking it right now. I can read your minds, guys. And that is, of course. What weapon of choice did you choose to slay them with?
Well, my brother got very good with the sniper rifle and just kept on
really the sniper. No way on Halo. Was this 1 or 2?
But both. He just kept on beating. That was his really good skill.
Can't believe that. But can't believe you're actually saying sniper right now. But
like you, I used advantage of the vehicles to overcome that challenge. So once I just had enough of him giving me long distance no surgery with the 48 caliber bullet. So I tried to jump across the field and everything, and just took my face off when I was mid jump and trying to spin it. It was hilarious.
The jumps.
So
how you jump on Halo is like
crazy,
nothing else. You like glide.
Yeah. No, well, not really, but. So once he was just kind of trolling along the battleground kind of thing, and little did he know.
Do you remember the map?
I'm trying to say a wonderful story. You gotta wait for the punchline. Basically, it's amazing. So he was just merrily going along with his sniper rifle, thinking he owned the place, and little did he know that I was waiting just outside this building in a Scorpion tank. He came to the entrance of it, looked up, and saw this big barrel just pointing at him, and I was pissed off. So I just blew him away with this huge.
Oh my God, the rage!
Once he just come around a corner of
the Halo.
He just came around the corner, and he just saw this big Scorpion tank just coming around the corner, and I had enough of him sniping me. So that's how I got him back. It was great.
Did he get you with a few of those headshots? You know, the most annoying ones? Yeah. You know, you come out, you've just loaded up on tons of ammo, right? Yeah. You've got the 2 of your favourite weapons ready to switch. You're like, oh my God, I'm going to take out so many people on 14. Like, you've got in your mind that you always have in your mind that number 49. You're like, I'm going to get a 49 death streak, increase it to 99. Someone snipes you out, bro. You're on like kill number 31. Someone snipes you. I've had this so many times. Back. Oh my God, starting from 0 again. And it's so infuriating when you come around the corner and someone's just waiting for you there poaching.
Yeah, that's right. That's why I like to say using vehicles so much, so you are harder. But my brother still snipes me out of a warthog a couple of times, or from a ghost or something. So
Ghost is the name of another vehicle, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's one of the alien ones. And but then in Halo 2, you can use the heat-seeking missile thing, which my brother started using to beat me from the vehicle. So I had to come up with other tactics. Yeah.
Wow, I love this. Absolutely love this. So what was your favourite vehicle? Now, the vehicles I remember in Halo. And I guess, and these are the ones I probably ended up using the most. Obviously, there's the Warthog with the machine gun at the top of the vehicle. That's a car,
Jeep,
army kind of Jeep tank thing. Well, it's not tank, is it? It's more of an army Jeep, like you say. Yes.
And there's the Ghost, which is like a hover bike thing.
Yeah, which I didn't use that much. The Ghost I used, which is the hover bike. Love that. Yeah, you're right. It was a hover bike.
Yeah,
right.
That kind of thing. Yeah. Then there was the Scorpion tank. Then there's the Wraith alien.
Oh, the
tanks.
Wraith. Okay, so the Wraith, the Scorpion, I want to go into, but
the tanks. Yeah.
have to stop on the Banshee because no, sorry. Did you said the Ghost, and then I was going to say the Banshee because the Banshee is another one. I know I use
flies. Yeah.
Yeah, the kind of flying hover machine, right? Which you shoot. Missile bullets at, like kind of space-looking bullets.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing! Yeah, they were like what do they call it? Plasma gun. Yeah. Plasma bullets. And let me know, guys, if you ever used those plasma guns, because there was actually plasma guns which you could hold as well and shoot people with. Yeah, amazing.
Plasma rifle, plasma pistols, plasma cannons. There's the fuel rod cannons and things. Yeah.
Plasma grenades.
Yeah, those two as well. Once I was in the Warthog, and I just offered to give my brother a lift across the map to get to where he wanted to go, and he just calmly planted a plasma grenade on me. So I calmly got out the Jeep and then blew up and died.
Oh my god, dude! I got
so rude.
Yeah, I got like I bit the dust from so many of those plasma grenades. Amazing, yeah. Oh my god! So of course, before I get into one of my favorite weapons here. Excuse me. I have to go over my two favorite weapons. Okay.
Yeah.
So the first one is the beloved and trusty rocket launcher. Of course, I don't know how many of you guys have used this in that game, but there's nothing more satisfying than doing a long range launch, a rocket launcher shot from one side of the map to the other. As you can see in the distance, I think you had some type of binoculars or zoom in.
Is that where
you could see other people from
scope,
a vantage, or sometimes for a sniper, right? And then you'd see them quickly switch to the rocket launcher and launch a bullet at least 16 steps in front of whatever player you would see is miles away, running in a particular direction. You can see that's so satisfying as well, because when you get this launch right, you can often stop a player in their tracks when you know they're literally planning. So many times I've seen a player going up behind another player and he's just about to take him out. I rocket launch it at the perfect time and take out two players in one go. We would often have our parties were parties of 4, right? So it's me and 3 others on there. And I just remember when you go on a killing streak, there's nothing more satisfying than that.
Yeah, it's great.
And then the second weapon, and guys, write the weapon in the comments that you would use if you remember, and write the vehicle. Okay, I want to see comments of the names of the vehicles you used in Halo. Mine would be Banshee the most, because I remember shooting that plasma gun. And also my two weapons would be rocket launcher, and then my favorite one, the Slayer. I think it was called the Slayer sword, or
the plasma sword. Yeah,
plasma sword. Sorry, of course. And I don't know what it is about these plasma weapons I particularly like.
They're very elegant and very, very scary.
Yeah, they look beautiful on the actual model of that game, considering it's such an old game.
Hey, do you want to hear a funny story about a rocket launcher that I had on one of these deathmatch matches? Just for lols, I pointed directly 90 degrees up with the rocket launcher and fired. And then, I just kind of stood there waiting. Then, I don't know, one of my siblings killed me, I think. But then they came to loot maybe a minute later, they came to loot my stuff, as you do. And then because of the gravity, the rocket came straight back down and killed them.
You're joking.
It was great.
Launches shots that go upwards can come back down. Oh, I love Halo so much, man. It has so many dynamics to it.
It's like, lol, revenge.
Oh my god, that's such a lol moment. Like, in the game as well, like a lol moment. Wow, but oh man, look, that was the rocket launcher. We're currently looking at a few pictures, guys, on my PC here to reignite our memories of the maps. But I want to talk about maps next, okay?
Yeah.
So we've covered weapons, we've covered vehicles. Oh, before we go into the maps, we must go into more depth. Can you remind me, what is the Scorpion tank? Now, is this in the second Halo?
It's been both, all of them.
Yeah. And also, can you remind me, which I'll get up in a minute, but
it's the human tank.
Yeah, can you remind me about what was the other vehicle, which we didn't?
The Warthog. Then in Halo 3, you got the little quad bike thing called a mongoose.
That as well.
Which doesn't fire anything.
I didn't actually ever use that. Yeah, I didn't use that much because, like I said, I predominantly played Halo 2 just for my whole life. Like,
there's the Spectre, which is like the alien version of the Warthog.
Wow.
There's the Ghost, the Banshee, the Wraith tanks. Got the Pelican transport dropships. You've got the Covenant Phantom dropships too, but you can't drive those really. So
can you go into The Scorpion tank, what did it look like? What weapons on it could you use? And was it slow, right?
It's fairly slow, yeah.
Sticks to the floor, right? As a typical army tank
so
aspect.
Yeah, just think of a sort of a tank kind of thing. It had sort of 4 sets of caterpillar tracks. You've got other Marines can sit on the side. Yeah, but there it is. We've got it up now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's got one big one cannon and a machine gun in it.
Amazing, yeah. Of course, I had the machine guns, and I remember this was really slow, but it used to be super defensive. Yeah, right? Could they pull you out of it, or on very rare occasions you can steal each other's vehicles, right?
Yeah, and Halo 2, not
but like
Halo 1.
This was one of the most impenetrable tanks, very difficult to get into. And if you had a Banshee, for example, you'd come up against this tank, but if this tank gets one shot on you, it would blow you immediately up. Yeah. But whereas you would have to shoot it many times, I think, to even get anywhere.
Yeah, in Halo 2, when you're going over the long bridge, there's lots of Banshees and stuff trying to get you, but so you need to just pluck them out of the air.
Anywhere close to penetrating this tank, wow. So yeah, I'd like to move on to a couple of these maps to really round this Halo experience. I remember, so I'm basing most of my experience on Halo 2. I think it's good you have more experience, obviously, on your Halo memories of the other 2 versions, which obviously is the Halo 1 and Halo 3. But Halo 2 has some amazing maps which I remember. One of the maps that stood out to me was this city, like futuristic city map. It had kind of like metal walls and stuff everywhere. Like, have you ever seen iRobot?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the scene where Will Smith is, he's like going max speed through a tunnel in like a futuristic Audi TT, and like it's like going like 300 miles an hour, and like the walls are made out of like, I don't know, curved edges like silver and metal around the walls. It was kind of these futuristic environments. And I don't know, maybe some of the viewers will be able to remember and name that city, but that was my favourite map on Halo 2. We played on that many times. And then another one was a futuristic space station kind of map where you could jump from different platforms to each other, which was really awesome. And there was a void, guys, so if you fall out of any one of the bridges on this space station, you would literally fall off into the void and into the distance.
So loads of different things like that. And there's more sort of a deserty kind of map.
Oh yeah, the desert map, and also the it's like a grasslands one. This is the actual one here. Yeah, do you remember that? Oh wow, I remember that vehicle now as well.
Yeah, that's the Wraith tank of
the Wraith tank. Yes, the Wraith was actually one of my favourite vehicles. But yeah, it's this one. Don't know if you remember this, Rowan. It's, how do you describe that to the viewers? It's like,
which one?
This one here, the green fields with the mountains and the trees.
Blood Gulch or something. It's like similar to like a canyon kind of thing. Yeah, canyon with a couple of trees and caves and things in it.
Amazing. Yeah, that was one of my favourite environments.
With 2 forts either end.
Oh yeah, 2 forts either end. So let me know, guys, if you remember the names of these maps, what they were called, and let me know your experiences. I would love to hear your guys' experience about Halo as well. Of course, this is one of the most classic games with the most amazing memories of mine. On this podcast, I will be featuring many more deep dives, guys, into amazing games and classic games. So let me know. Drop it into the comments section what games you want to hear me and possibly sometimes some of my other friends discussing about our memories of old classic games. Okay, I'm thinking a few that I'm definitely going to be covering eventually in the future. For example, Crash Bandicoot and things like that. So let me know any games that you guys have. And yeah, Rowan, did you want to say anything else about Halo and what it really meant to you?
Yeah, it was just a really fun thing, and some people might think gaming and this kind of thing is senseless or whatever, and it is sad if you just only game and
not my viewers.
And that's the only thing you do, and you don't have a social life or anything else going on. But if you use gaming as a fun way to have a hobby, and it can actually develop your reaction speed and your motor skills and things like that.
So many skills.
Yeah, it can actually really be good for that. Also stress relief, and you can also do it as a social activity as well. It doesn't make you into a psycho killer or anything like that. That's all a myth.
Yeah, I completely disagree with this idea of like how people say some of the mass murderings these days and shootings, for example, in America are caused by, games like GTA. I mean, this is not, people have always had these types of problems, and maybe these games slightly trigger these things, but they're never going to be the direct cause. And they never will. A game, it's like saying movies, right? Can cause, movies about violence can cause people to be violent. They can maybe be triggers, but these things can never be the actual cause.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. It didn't actually, if for people with various anger issues maybe, and not going to speak too much about that with personal experience, but it can be a nice little outlet as well, kind of thing. So it can even be the opposite. And there's plenty of games as well which are quite peaceful and nice and everything, and they don't make you into a zombie or whatever. There's quite a few nice, peaceful, non-violent ones.
Oh yeah, okay, before we finish this podcast, the deep dive into Halo, guys, and also a little discussion on the general gist of games, what it means to us. That's a different subject for another time podcast about these different kinds of games, whether it be violence type of style games in the world and then creative style games, what it means to the world and how it affects the world. I want to maybe do a podcast discussing that in the future. I think that's interesting. What's your one of the creative games that you love to finish off the podcast with? Just a random question.
Oh, good question. What's this? Quite a few good ones.
Could I tell you one of mine just to wet your juices, if you will? And that is, absolutely, because Minecraft's a creative game, right? It's for what they consider all audiences. It's creative. It's the complete other end of the spectrum. It's such as just a positive influenced game. It's a very positive impact, on the world in general.
Yeah, for sure. Some other good examples, but it's eluding me. But there's definitely quite a few puzzle games and things like that you can enjoy. I'm trying to think.
Definitely, I love puzzle game genre. I love it. I mean, I've always played Sudokus, Scrabble, things like chess and stuff like that. So kind of games that make you think, and not necessarily puzzle games, but Tetris sometimes was a puzzle game, stuff like that. I always love those kind of games. Pac-Man's, where you can go in different corridors and explore different ways. But that's been amazing, and we shall deep dive into more games in the future when we have some more time. But I think that's it for our time at the moment. We will probably have to wrap up here, guys. I hope you have all enjoyed this podcast. Thank you very much, Rowan. I want to thank you for coming on here.
Thank you very much. Love to everyone.
Yeah, thanks, man. And discussing these awesome games as usual. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this podcast. Let me know your thoughts about this podcast, and of course, if you have any memories about Halo, I would love to hear them. And take care, everybody, and see you guys soon in the next podcast.